Welcome to Being at Home with George. I'm excited to be here, and I'd like to begin the way we normally begin, which is to say yes to life, to embrace whatever comes up, and generate the hope. And so I'm very conscious of the fact that today is February the 2nd, 2023, and it's actually Groundhog Day. And I was thinking about the movie Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray keeps going down the same street and ending up in the same pothole. What does that have to do with anything? And so I think that we want to understand, and it's interesting. I was meditating, reflecting on this book by Neville called Mental Diets. And it starts off by saying, everything is a manifestation of the mental conversations which go on in us without our being aware of them. And so this idea of reflecting on one's personal history and understanding that as long as there is no change in the inner talking, the personal history of the person remains the same. And so this idea of a Groundhog Day, doing the same thing over and over and ending up in the same place, not realizing that the reason that's happening is because there's not an awareness of the inner conversation that's going on that's leading to that street and that pothole. And so for us to understand our personal history, to learn from our personal history, is reflect on experience and really get clear about what are those conversations going on, because they're not aware. So we have to become aware. And when we can become aware of the conversation, especially when he talks about this idea that man can go round and round in the same circle of disappointments and the same misfortunes, not seeing them as caused by our own negative inner conversations, but as caused by others, some people, places, and things that having the locus of control out there instead of in here. And once we realize that, then we have the awareness of it, then we need to realize, okay, if the negative conversation is leading me down that street and into that pothole, then what conversations might I have that will lead me to another street? And when I step off that curb, I'm not stepping in the pothole, but I'm actually getting to where I want to go, whether it's stepping into a car or stepping on a bus or stepping into some vehicle or some process that allows us to go where we say we want to go. And so this idea of understanding that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, that the mental conversations attract our lives to us. So if we don't like what we're getting, then we got to go inside and make it different. We have to be aware. We can self-regulate. We can change our thoughts. And the thoughts need to be with a purpose and alignment with what we say we want to do. And so to me, that's that simple, is instead of focusing on what we don't want, focus on what we want. So for me, if I want peace of mind and I want to feel safe, protected, then my conversations have to be in alignment with that. And I have to reflect and think about, well, what conversations do I need to have so that I'm attracting that life to myself, because we meet what we mirror. And so if we can be love, so if I want love, I have to be love. So that means my thoughts, my feelings, and my behaviors have to be in alignment with that. If I want peace, my thoughts and my behaviors have to be in alignment with that. But it has to begin with me seeing the conversations, being aware of them and changing them, regulating them so that they're in alignment with where I say I want to go and who I say I want to be. And so that's the simplicity of it. So we learn from our personal history. And if we don't, we will continue to get what we're getting. And so we have this tradition where we have a certain focus each month on certain history. So this month is Black History Month. And so this idea of what can we learn from that? What are the conversations we need to have so that we get the results we want to have? And so I'm thinking about Martin Luther King's having a dream, and this understanding that men are evaluated by the content of their character, not the color of their skin or their sexual orientation, so that we get this idea that we can be more inclusive and that we learn from it, not just from the personal history, my personal history, but everyone's personal history, to realize it's better together. And what are the conversations we need to have so that we're not continuing to do the same old things and getting the same old results? And so I say, why not go for love, peace, happiness, joy?